Well, it is a snowy St. Patrick's Day. In fact, it's the coldest we've seen in decades. Despite that, by the looks of the crowd behind Jenna, they didn't let it stop them. Good for them.
No, I think they're warming up on their own with a little help of maybe not green grass, but some green beer.
Nothing a few pints can't cure. Huh?
That's right, that's right. I will tell you though, Sean, today it was a serious snow globe.
It wasn't, yeah, it just wasn't, it was not pleasant.
And then it kept changing. It's snow globe, a little bit of sun, snow globe,
Yes.
a little bit of cloud, snow globe. It went
all
on
in
and
a
off.
matter of minutes at times. And we were talking about the coldest in decades, almost the coldest in a century.
Wow.
Let's show you the numbers so far.
Oh, Sean has his glasses.
24. Yeah, it's serious stuff when I grab the readers.
Yeah.
24 so far is our high. You have to go back to 1941 to have a St. Patrick's Day this cold. In fact, I went back and looked too. So 85 years for the coldest St. Patrick's Day. But if these numbers hold, it's going to be our coldest day this late or this early in the season, this late in the season, let me get that correct, since the 70s. So rare air is what we're trying to tell you here. Not as much snow on live Doppler 13 radar as earlier, but there's still some flakes flying around. Wind chill temperatures in the teens right now. And this is what you can expect for the remainder of your evening. Cloud cover is going to hang with us. Wind chills going to be unpleasant, and temperature is going to hold steady, generally in the middle to lower 20s here. This we want you to be prepared for tomorrow morning. May not be the world's biggest snow coming at us, but it will be terribly timed, and the temperatures are going to still be in the mid-20s tomorrow morning. So we do expect snow for the morning commute, and it may be enough to cause some issues on the roads and maybe enough to cause some school delays here. We're talking ½ inch to locally an inch. We will eventually get warmer. We'll talk about that ahead in the 7-day forecast.
All right, Sean, see you in a few minutes. Thank you. City leaders and neighborhood planners have spent years looking for ways to improve the South Split in downtown Indianapolis. Well, now they might have found a solution.
We're talking about a major revitalization to the 6570 interchange on the near southeast side. Ashton Hackman is here to walk us through some of those concepts. And Ashton, these are pretty bold.
Yes, they are. These plans are calling for sunken interstates and reconnected neighborhoods. All concepts put forward in the final version of the Southeast Gateway Planning Study. So take a look. The Rethink Coalition is a group behind these plans. They're a community-based organization working to get Interstate 65 and 70 constructed differently. There are 3 different concepts, from least to most complex. The study found a revisioned South Split could free up to 8 acres of developable land. That's space for new homes and businesses, and reconnecting Fletcher Place and Fountain Square.
The vision is bold, and we do need bold action. I mean, the reality is Indianapolis is like many urban communities that got split up by expressways, and we need to be thinking about modern solutions to modern problems. And I think some of the concepts that are presented in the study are just that.
Right now, these concepts are just that. Concepts. We are still years away from any possible construction. This study was funded through a federal grant from the Department of Transportation. All of these concepts have different price estimates and timelines. Lots of different requirements, as you can see. We'll talk about some of that coming up at 5.
Well, also that map that you showed ever so briefly about the possible options, I feel like I want to study the map and see more. Will that be on our website as well,
yes,
so we can kind of take a look?
In the full story, you can scroll for a while. There are so many different graphics and maps that you can look at. Just really neat.
We get a little nervous when you start talking about timelines. I mean, it feels like we just finished the North Split.
Right.
And they're already working on the South Split now. So construction makes people, their ears go up.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Interesting. Okay, Ashton, thank you.
Governor Mike Braun announced a new initiative this morning tied to a $1 billion investment from the state.
That investment centers around creating 100,000 jobs in Indiana over the next 10 years. Here's our State House reporter, Emily Longnecker.
Well, the investment is focused on industries that deal with animal, plant, and human health. Today's announcement was framed as positioning Indiana as a national, even international hub for life sciences. The initiative all goes back to an executive order the governor signed last year. That order asked the state's different regions to come up with plans to create more high-paying jobs. The central Indiana region, made up of 32 communities, including Fishers and Indianapolis, was the first to come forward with its plan. Because of that, the state is offering $1 billion in tax credits to bring more industries to Indiana that deal with life sciences and build upon the ones that are already here. Governor Braun called the initiative a transformational investment that will support regional economies across the state.
This historic investment will empower region-led growth, bring in more jobs with higher wages, and further establish Indiana as a state for cutting-edge life sciences.
And today's announcement was framed as Indiana planting its flag in the ground, so to speak, a flag that says for the next 10 years, this state is committed to the life science industries already here and growing more of those jobs in the future. At the Indiana State House, Emily Longnecker, 13 News.
All right, Emily, thank you. And strikes continue across the Middle East amid the ongoing conflict with Iran. And Israel just announced it has killed Iran's top security official. Here's Michael Yoshida reporting.
Defense systems firing at projectiles near the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad, Iraq. Diplomatic headquarters, an oil field, hotel, and other facilities all reportedly targeted by Iran. The early morning attacks happening as Israel announced it had killed Ali Larijani, Iran's top security official. Also reportedly killed a leader of Iran's paramilitary, which was part of violent crackdowns on protesters in January.
This is a big deal, taking these two out. If killing Khamenei was kind of a 10, I'd say this is an 8.5.
Flight and shipping disruptions continuing across the Middle East. Several airlines extending flight cancellations, and NATO allies deciding not to send ships to help secure the region's waterways.
I think NATO's making a very foolish mistake, and I've long said that, I wonder whether or not NATO would ever be there for us. So this was a great test, because we don't need them, but they should have been there.
Impacts to the Strait of Hormuz continuing to cause surging gas prices, up to an average of $3.79 a gallon, according to AAA. And it could get worse.
You've got a combination of higher demand, summer blend gasoline, and rising crude oil prices. So that means spring and summer are going to be your highest times for gas prices.
Tuesday, a top Trump-appointed U.S. intelligence official resigned. Joe Kent, a staunch Trump supporter, writing in part, "I cannot in good conscience support the ongoing war in Iran. Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation, and it is clear that we started this war due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby." The White House called that claim absurd. In Washington, Michael Yoshida.
Right now, travelers are dealing with some major headaches blamed on bad weather and that partial government shutdown. TSA lines are growing at airports around the country, including Denver that you see here. Here's why. Lawmakers are at a stalemate for DHS funding, and that includes money for TSA. So many TSA workers aren't getting paid and are calling out sick. And it's all happening at the start of spring break travel. Thousands of people are set to fly, many of them arriving hours early to the airport.
Line doesn't look too bad right now, but I have seen a lot on the news, so I just want to get there early before I miss my flight. And I get the whole line because there's obviously less employees, and obviously security is pretty important in an airport. So I do empathize for the employees that aren't getting paid. It makes sense, yeah.
So if you're traveling in the next couple of weeks, make sure to arrive at least 2 hours early. In fact, many airports recommend 3 hours right now just because of those TSA lines. As for when the TSA could be funded again, well, that depends on the Senate and when they vote to fund DHS.
Well, hopefully you're donning your green because today is St. Patrick's Day.
Clearly we are. A lot of Hoosiers are as well, and many are celebrating at an iconic Indianapolis spot. Our Jenna Webster's there at the oldest continuous St. Patrick's Day pub celebration in the entire country. Wow, that's pretty surprising. Jenna, how's it going?
Oh, we're having so much fun. The music is going. We're dancing. This is the 93rd St. Patrick's Day celebration for McGinley's Golden Ace, and so much fun. The party's been going on since Friday, actually. I've got Beth with me. So Beth, How long have you been here today?
We got here a couple hours ago.
Okay, what's your favorite part about celebrating St. Patrick's Day here?
Just celebrating the Irish culture, the music, the celebration, and just enjoying everybody's company.
Yes, I always love seeing everybody's outfits too, so I like your earrings that you have. Those are great. Guys, the bar here has a really cool history. So Golden Ace was actually opened by the McGinley family. They are Irish immigrants. They opened just a few weeks before St. Patrick's Day back in 1934. The original owner's grandson says they're very proud of their Irish heritage, as you can imagine. They wanted to help celebrate, share it with everyone. The party's grown from an Irish family in the back room of this pub to an outdoor tent that we're in right now with big crowds and, of course, lots of beer.
A lot of the Irish in Indianapolis settled many years ago right around here in this neighborhood. And so not only do they come back or their kids come back, but then the next generation and the generation after come back. It's really quite a sight to see.
That was Jim McGinley. He says they really rely on the business from St. Patrick's Day to help them stay open for the rest of the year. But the one thing that you won't find behind the bar here, and that is green beer. Jim says they've refused to serve it all 93 years because he says a true Irishman would never drink beer. So can you see the table back here? None of that is green. He actually recommends, if you want to get in the Irish spirit, an Irish flag shot. Now, of course, the other big part of the celebration today is the live music. We've got the band going right now with the banjo, but we've got another band coming up at 5 o'clock in just under an hour. They're coming here direct from Ireland, and they've actually performed at the White House on St. Patrick's Day. But today, they're here with us, which is pretty cool. So we're looking forward to listening to them. But if you do want to come out, keep in mind they're cash only, so don't bring your credit card. It's not going to work here, but we've got a pretty good crowd here. Lots of food, lots of music, lots of drinks, lots of celebrating Irish culture, guys.
A lot of celebrating. Yeah, we were certainly crossing our fingers and praying for all the crowd behind you.
It was a nice, clean celebration, so
Yes.
kudos to you for that, and clearly plenty more to come if you want to head out there.
Yeah.